This week's episode is brought to you by Crown Haven Wealth Advisors, your retirement reimagined. Coming up today on RetireSHIELD TV.
You know, an independent firm is the type of firm that has access to all of the different tools. That's quite literally how you have the flexibility and freedom to build plans in a cohesive way for folks. That's how you get access to not just a wrench, but all of the different types of wrenches. I want to be able to spend my time and energy on the things that matter most to me with the least amount of stress possible. And how you get there is you use the appropriate tool to solve each job. And that's quite simply what we do at our firm, and we just have a very well-structured, well-oiled machine that we have built over time that ensures that we deliver this high-quality service to our clients.
Knowing people and building trust. Get on the right path to achieve your retirement goals with Casey Marx and the team at Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. Understand the process and challenges of retirement planning. Discover the keys to a successful retirement.
Hello and welcome to RetireSHIELD TV. I'm consumer advocate Morgan Patrick, and as always, I am joined by the founder and CEO of Crown Haven Wealth Advisors and creator of the RetireSHIELD process, Casey Marx. Casey is not only the author of Baby Boomer Retirement Bootcamp, he is also a retirement income certified professional, as well as a certified financial fiduciary. It is, as always, good to see you, Casey.
Great to see you too, Morgan.
All right, so I've heard you say it before, so I have to ask, what is the noble soldier and how does it relate to retirement?
Yeah, so I'm a fan of, world history, U.S. history, and there's a story of this noble soldier, and the crux of it is essentially you can have the best intentions, but you can be using the wrong tool for the job. And so what the story really goes into is you have this soldier that is all excited to go into battle. He's going to serve his country. He has the best of intentions, and he essentially brings a knife to a gunfight. And as you can imagine, that doesn't turn out very well for him. And I think how this relates to retirement planning is that, when I talk to people, real human beings that come in and talk to us on a daily basis that are not our clients yet, I've not met one person that has told me, oh, I intended to lose money, or I intended to pay all of these fees, or I intended to pay too much in taxes. I've quite frankly, I've run into a few advisors that have been doing things on purpose in a bad way, but there's not many of those out there. Most of them truly do care. They're just using the wrong tools. And that might be because they're captive, and they only have access to a particular set of tools, and then they have to use those tools in order to make money for themselves and their families. It could be that their philosophy is different, and they haven't done all of the research on retirement planning that we've done at Crown Haven, but their intentions can still be pure. But the moral of the story is your intentions can be perfectly pure, and the execution can still be much worse than you anticipate as a result of using the wrong tool.
When you think about it, going into battle with the wrong weapon.
Yeah.
As you said, take a knife to a gunfight. Now you said, someone that is limited. So when you say limited or captive, they don't have a full arsenal. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and most advisors out there, look, if you're not independent, people, and this is what's weird psychologically, a lot of folks are maybe a little bit afraid, quite frankly, of working with an independent firm. They're more comfortable with the big box firms. Why? Because they've got multi-billion-dollar advertising budgets. They use cartoon characters to advertise for them. An independent firm is the type of firm that has access to all of the different tools. That's quite literally how you have the flexibility and freedom to build plans in a cohesive way for folks. That's how you get access to not just a wrench, but all of the different types of wrenches. and a wrench that might be good for this particular use case, right? A screwdriver for this particular use case. If I'm building a house, there's at a very basic level, there's a flathead screwdriver, there's a Phillips head screwdriver. Those are two different screwdrivers, right? But if I just say screwdriver, somebody might think, oh, it's the same thing. Well, no, not quite. There's some differences there.
I was just going to jump in and just say, so as an independent, your toolbox just got a whole lot bigger.
It's essentially unlimited. We have access to every single tool. And it's extremely important for clients, And I just want to harp on the fact that it's not necessarily a lack of good intent, right? There are folks out there, and I talk to clients on a daily basis, prospective clients, that they might have been introduced to their advisor as a result of a personal relationship. They know them from church, whatever. They know they're a good human being. It's not about them being a bad human being. It's as a result of their captivity.
Sure.
It could be their philosophy, whatever. But at the end of the day, it works all the way down to eating. Like if I'm trying to cut a piece of meat, I need a knife. If I'm a lumberjack and all of a sudden somebody shows me a saw, it's a frickin' miracle, right? Like the tools do what you need. You need the proper tools in order to achieve the outcome.
When you talk about retirement, and we talk about it each and every week here on the program, it's about the individual or that couple that is sitting in front of you, and it's about their options.
Yes.
Direction they're going to go.
Yes.
And as an independent, as someone that has this bigger toolbox,
yes,
this bigger, a quiver that has lots and lots of arrows.
Yes.
The pathways that you can select and plan for are so numerous. And that's options. That's what they need.
Yes. And I think what's really important for people to understand, and it was said in a previous show, but I want to repeat it here, is that the RetireSHIELD is a scope of work that covers a very specific set of issues that every human being needs to have handled. And it's a process that we go through in order to complete that work, because nobody likes to get on a ride and not know when that ride's going to end. So the scope of work is secure income planning, investment management, advanced tax planning, healthcare planning, and estate planning. It's also in an order of operations, because that order of operations is extremely important. If we don't have secure income in retirement from a loss of employment or a lack of employment, then we're not particularly concerned about taxes. And if we get sick and we don't have money, we're in big trouble. So the order of operations is set up in a specific way based on academia. How we go through the process is we first get to know who you are. So it's a relationship visit. Then we diagnose the issues. That's the diagnostic visit. Then we customize a plan for retirement for you. It's a plan design stage. If you decide that you want to implement that with us, we implement that. Then we provide consistent and continual care and monitoring and provide proactive advice. So this is extremely valuable, and it's based on the academia, and it's to create not only confidence, but to give you certainty of outcome. So it's extremely valuable, and we are using the proper tools for each individual job. And as an independent, to your point, we have access to the full spectrum of tools.
And your communication. You are in touch. It's not a set it and forget it.
No, it's the exact opposite of that. And that was my biggest beef with, the large firm that my mom was working with after my dad passed away. It was extremely reactive, number one. It wasn't proactive. The reason you hire somebody is to work for your best interests and be proactive and work on your behalf, not react when things go poorly or tell you, just ride it out, you're going to be fine. That's not what people are looking for. So we're extremely proactive, but then there's continual care and monitoring, and it's a relationship with a local team of professionals that live in the same community that you live in. We're here. Come into our office, meet us, have a cup of coffee, hang out, talk. That's what we're here for.
We're about to take a quick break, but if you want your own personalized RetireSHIELD plan or a free copy of Casey's book, Baby Boomer Retirement Boot Camp, make sure to call the number that's on your screen right now and talk with one of our representatives, or you can visit our website, RetireSHIELD.tv.
Memory
memories with Grandpa.
My first job.
My fourth job.
Crazy road trips.
Our first date.
Meeting our son.
Exploring our world.
Our world.
Family and friends.
Our
Special song.
Secure your retirement by meeting with your local, independent, and fiduciary advisor at Crown Haven. Take advantage of your complimentary relationship visit by calling Casey Marx and the team at Crown Haven today.
Hello, and welcome back to RetireSHIELD TV. I'm consumer advocate Morgan Patrick, and as always, I am joined by the founder and CEO of Crown Haven Wealth Advisors and creator of the RetireSHIELD process, Casey Marx. Casey is a retirement income certified professional as well as a certified financial fiduciary. Now, before the break, Casey, you were explaining to our viewers how even though they might have the best intentions, some financial advisors just don't have the skills, that toolbox we talk about, the knowledge to effectively guide people to a safe retirement. It's a sad statement, but many people out there, they tend to trust their decades of retirement savings to a friend or a friend of a friend or someone who just happens to have a business near where they live. And that is why it is so very, very important for our viewers out there to have a shield over their retirement like RetireSHIELD.
Yeah, and this is all based on the purpose of your money. It's based on what you're trying to do for yourself in retirement. Now, if I were to poll 100 of my clients and ask them what they want out of their retirement, they would tell me, quite literally, I want to be able to spend my time and energy on the things that matter most to me with the least amount of stress possible. And how you get there is you use the appropriate tool to solve each job. And how you get there by working with an advisor is you ensure that that advisor has the ability to use all of the tools. They then coordinate those tools to create a plan that effectively hits all those targets. And then they work in a fiduciary capacity, collaboratively with you, in a transparent way, so that you understand how those tools work on your behalf, and then they continually service it. And that's quite simply what we do at our firm, and we just have a very well-structured, well-oiled machine that we have built over time that ensures that we deliver this high-quality service to our clients.
Well, you've been there, you've done that, you've worked with your clients, and you're offering up, again, RetireSHIELD, and there's going to be an opportunity to get on your calendar and have that very conversation. So I'm going to throw a couple of phrases at you, and I'm just going to let you go nuts.
Sure.
Okay? You ready?
Yeah.
Purpose of money.
So the purpose of money, purpose determines placement. So again, this kind of goes back to the targets that we're trying to hit. So all of my clients, kind of goes back to what we were just talking about, you know, what the desires are from a qualitative basis. But then if we get into the quantitative area, you know, every single human being that I talk to wants to have enough access to their money to be able to handle emergencies and do some things that they want to do, whether it's put on a new roof, you know, remodel the bathroom, go see their kids across the United States, be able to take their family on a vacation, whatever. Well, that means that you need to have some money that's safe and that's liquid. That's the bank. All of my clients want to make sure that they have enough income so that they know their standard of living is going to be maintained now and in the future, and that it's inflation adjusted. Those are the insurers that we use. That guarantees your safety of principal. It ensures that you're going to get an annually compounding return that you can then use for income without reducing your principal. A lot of my clients want to try to hit home runs too. Quite frankly, if somebody comes into me and they say that's all I want to do, I tell them that they're not an ideal fit for my firm. Because I want to be able to look into my client's eyes and tell them, not just now, but 20 years from now, that you're going to be okay. So we only go to bucket 3 if we make sure bucket number 1 and bucket number 2 are completely full and set up for them. Because when it gets to retirement, when you get to that distribution phase, what is most important is having flexibility for the things that you want to do and having security so that you can maintain your standard of living. And even if people don't know that, they want that.
Yeah, ease of mind.
Yes.
Knowing that your future, you know what's happening.
Yes.
It's a plan.
Yes.
I tell you, folks, just having it, having the meeting, having the conversation, talking about your future and mapping it out and seeing what tools out of that toolbox we've been talking about can be put to work for you inside that portfolio. I tell you, very important. You're going to get an opportunity to get on the calendar with Casey and his team. Another phrase for you. You ready? All right. And I love this one because I actually want to know the definition of insanity.
Well, so the literal definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And we see this time and again with our investments. And the fact of the matter is that humans are uniquely inept at predicting future outcomes. We're flawed as people. We know this. We're emotional in our decision making a lot of the time. We try to predict the future based on the past, which is the future is going to be different than the past because it's the butterfly effect. There are different things that happen. Those are called black swan events, those things that will occur that we do not expect, the unknown unknowns. And so to remain, for example, in investments that we know don't serve the purpose of what we're trying to accomplish in retirement, knowing that we're flawed, knowing that we act emotionally, knowing, by the way, that that's not only reserved for just your typical person, but the emotional response also can happen with an advisor too. It's insane to keep your money at risk when you know you need that same money to create income. And so, my statement is, let's stop the insanity. We know that at some point in the future, could be tomorrow, could be a week from now, could be a year from now, we're going to see declines in the markets. So then the fundamental question has to be, how much of my money is in the direct path of that freight train coming down the tracks that I don't see coming yet? And then how does that affect my life? Because if it affects your life in a material way, which I'm here to tell you, 99.9% of people that we do diagnostics on, it affects their life in a material way. You're not going to want to know what the outcome looks like after that happens. You're going to want to get ahead of that prior to that happening. And there is an incredible peace of mind that can be created if you plan ahead and solve for these issues ahead of time.
So let's bring Retirement Shield in, RetireSHIELD. How's it going to help?
Well, it's a very systematized process that we take people through. It starts with getting to know you. We diagnose the portfolio. We're practitioners. We show the facts to you. We're incredibly transparent with what we're looking at, and it gives you insight that, quite frankly, most people have never had. We're going to do that, and then we're going to develop a plan based exactly on what you are trying to accomplish. And your desires are going to be unique to you. And we're going to design a plan with the explicit purpose of delivering you an outcome that you're looking to achieve, and also maintain flexibility to continually revise and adjust over time. And then you're going to have the confidence in knowing, number one, that you're okay right now. Number two, you're okay in the future. Number three, you've got a trusted team of fiduciary professionals that are there to help you as you traverse this path for the next 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, however many years.
I tell you, with that, we are about to take a quick break. But before we do, I wanted to remind you to join the thousands of Hoosiers that have already shielded their retirement with a personalized RetireSHIELD plan. Now, our lines are open and they will remain open, so call the number that's on your screen right now to talk to one of our representatives, or you can visit our website, RetireSHIELD.tv, for your own personalized RetireSHIELD plan or a free copy of Casey's book, Baby Boomer Retirement Boot Camp.
Do you know what that sound is? It's me traveling the world. Europe to Asia. I'm vacationing and living the retirement of my dreams because I just met with my advisor at Crown Haven. They helped me turn my nest egg into a golden egg. Take advantage of your complimentary relationship visit by calling Casey Marx and the team at Crown Haven today.
Hello, and welcome back to RetireSHIELD TV. I'm consumer advocate Morgan Patrick, and as always, I am joined by the founder and CEO of Crown Haven Wealth Advisors and creator of the RetireSHIELD process, Casey Marx. Casey is a retirement income certified professional as well as a certified financial fiduciary. Casey, before the break, you were highlighting that despite their good intentions, some financial advisors, they just lack the skills, the knowledge, or the tools to properly guide people towards a secure retirement. It's unfortunate, but many individuals entrust their years of retirement savings to someone that they barely know or to a business located near their home. Now, this is why it is so crucial for our viewers to have a safeguard over their retirement like RetireSHIELD. Now, with that, let's go to some RetireSHIELD TV viewer questions. And remember, you can ask Casey your retirement questions by going to retireshield.tv and filling out the TV question form. All right, first up, we'll go to Tom, and he is in Noblesville. I have been working with the same advisor for the last 10 years, so a decade. I enjoy our relationship. However, my investment portfolio's performance, well, it has been subpar relative to the market. What would you recommend I do? That's Tom.
Well, Tom, I appreciate the question, and I can't give you a blanket recommendation on what to do with regard to your portfolio, but what I would recommend is that you get a second opinion, and that's exactly what our diagnostic is for. We will be able to identify for you the exact reason your performance has been subpar relative to the market and show you exactly how you can fix that. But we run into this issue a lot. We will have folks that are working with advisors, they appreciate them as human beings, but at the end of the day, this is a business decision. Your finances are your wealth, Inc. And the advisor that you're working with is essentially the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, and you're the CEO. And you know what? If the CFO isn't doing the job in the way that you need them to do the job, it's time to find a new CFO. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. At the end of the day, it's a decision that you have to make for yourself and your family. And any professional that works in a professional capacity should be able to respect that.
Yeah, and it's like you said before, if there's any feeling of being uncomfortable, get a second opinion.
Yeah, and the worst thing that's going to happen, and it sounds like you already are kind of unimpressed by the portfolio's performance, but this is for everybody else watching out there too. The worst thing that can happen is you're going to find out that you're in a relatively good spot, in relation to what you're trying to accomplish. The best thing is you're going to figure out, well, shoot, at first, I'm not in as good a spot as I thought I was in, but now I can fix it. And that knowledge is so powerful. And then you're going to have the feeling of security and certainty, knowing that you've solved it and that it's no longer a worry.
Yeah, being proactive.
And being proactive is so important when it comes to this, because you only get one shot at it. You really do.
Question and answer, always interesting to kind of get a feel for what people are going through. The next one is from Plainfield. Doug is there. Here's the question. I am 2 years from retirement, and I've started to want to tailor my investment portfolio to be more income focused. What would you say is the best investment for creating income in retirement?
Well, Doug, I appreciate the question, and this is why our first stage of our planning process is quite literally secure income planning. This is a common concern for most people. What I would also say is that the best vehicle for creating income is a tool that's explicitly designed to create that income. So that would eliminate, anything that is variable in its nature. So stocks, bonds, there are tools that you can use that have income generating properties to them, but that are still inherently volatile. And if you're trying to create secure income, if you're trying to create income that you can rely on, if you're trying to create a foundational income floor that you will never go below so that you can maintain your standard of living, variability for that income needs to be eliminated. Because the best analogy that I can think on the spot here is, imagine you had a job while you were working that you go in and every week they change your pay. That's essentially how most retirement plans are set up. The pay gets changed based on how the market's performing. That's no sense of security at all. There's a lot of stress involved there. So that's why we use at our firm tools that are explicitly designed to not only create security of income, that you know exactly what that's going to be, but also it's got cost of living increases, it's got inflation adjustments. We want to make sure that your buying power remains the same as well.
And big toolbox, right?
And a huge toolbox to use all of the different tools to create a complete plan.
Question and answer rolling on. Let's go to Indianapolis. Donna is there. Here's the question. I just recently retired and I was reviewing my investments. It appears my current advisor put me in REITs that were intended to generate income for me in retirement, although I was told that these REITs were frozen. What should I do now?
Donna, I'm sorry to hear that. So real estate investment trusts have become very popular from a financial sales perspective over the course of the last, call it 15 years. They generally typically generate a pretty high revenue for the person that sells them. They're highly illiquid assets. They're speculative, and they're based on the success of the commercial real estate market typically. It's a dangerous spot to be. Not all REITs are that way, but most of the REITs that we've looked at have not been fantastic for our clients and what they're trying to accomplish. What I would do is I would reach out to us. We will do a diagnostic of the portfolio. If necessary, we will make phone calls, and we do this for our clients, for all of our prospective clients. We're your advocate. We're here to call these other firms to help you sort this out. We speak the professional speak. We know how to ask the right questions. We know how to get the right answers. A lot of the investment advisory world, a lot of the financial industry is based on the presumption that the person that reaches out isn't going to know how to ask the question or get the answer. We know how to ask the right questions. We know how to get the answers. And if you're our client, we're going to go to bat for you.
Well, and you think about it too. We talk about RetireSHIELD, 3 different questions. And if they become 3 different clients, they're going to have 3 different RetireSHIELDs.
Absolutely. It's completely customized.
I tell you, folks, it's very important to make sure that you have your plan. If you are retiring solo or retiring as a couple, it needs to be customized to you. A lot of moving parts, and as Casey says, they've got the toolbox. They are independent, and they can come up with that plan for you. So, well, it's all about timing, and we have for today. We're out of time for television, so we'll be back next week. But if you are looking for that peace of mind we talk about every single week in your retirement, and don't wait. Remember, our lines are open 24/7. So the number that's on the screen, call that number now, jot it down, call it later, call it when you want to, or you can go to RetireSHIELD.tv for your free copy of Casey's book, Baby Boomer Retirement Bootcamp, or to have a personalized RetireSHIELD plan created for you by Casey and his team of financial advisors. Remember, go to the website, RetireSHIELD.tv.